Hello, welcome back to my world of stuff. It's been a while since I've done a video. I think it's been a week. I did say they might be a little less frequent, but I feel it's time I did something. It's a lovely day today, Monday, so I thought I'm going to nip out and do a few bits and pieces. I'm going to do a film review a little bit later on of a horror film I watched yesterday, which is currently streaming on Shudder. Not the sort of film I normally review, but I quite enjoyed it. It was quite an interesting, low-budget, sort of schlocky horror film. And I'll be doing a bit of review of that later on. And now I'm going to do a little bit of Blu-ray hunting, by which I'm going to pop to the local Asda, see what's in stock. There probably won't be much there, but just have a quick look, see what's there, and then film review a bit later on. So see you soon. Soon? Into the physical media section at my local Asda. Might recall in a very early video I went here to have a look around, and fortunately we've still got some stuff here, but not a great deal. This is quite interesting. They've got these deals at the moment on Blu-rays, 2 for $12 for certain titles, 2 for $10 on other titles. And in the 2 for $10 there's some quite nice ones. Tarantino's most recent, Jumanji: The Next Level, The Relic. They've got Shallow Grave, The Conjuring. I was quite tempted to pick that up because I haven't got that on Blu-ray. So yeah, £7 each, 2 for £10. The first Alien, the terrible Predator remake by Shane Black. So yeah, some quite good little deals there on the Blu-rays for 2 for £10. And as I say, in the other section a bit further down, 2 for 12. But yeah, some quite nice titles. So they might not have a lot of stuff here, but what they've got is pretty good. Looking at the new releases, not very much really, just a lot of recent stuff. Nothing from this week. I don't know what's out this week exactly, but you've got Coming to America, that new Eddie Murphy film. I think it was on Netflix or Amazon last year. That's got a physical release. There's lots of, I do like seeing these cheesy straight to DVD titles. The Hunting, sort of a werewolf thing, mysterious animal attack. Yeah, I've seen that sort of thing 100 times, but I think it's nice to see those low-budget films at least getting a chance to get out there. There we've got lots of old sort of titles that have been around for a while. Candyman, got no real interest in seeing that. Castle Falls, Snake Eyes. All the usual stuff, really, that's been around for so long. This looks quite interesting, actually. A Feral World. I think it was only £3. I should have picked that up, actually. Lord of the Future Flies meets Stand By Me. But I don't know if I'm in the mood for post-apocalyptic stuff at the moment. What with the world the way it is. So I put that one back where it belongs. Crocodile Collection. Presumably that's because they haven't got the Arrow Alligator Collection, which is out at the moment. So that makes up for it. Yeah, I just think it's quite fun to see all these cheap, low-budget titles. Law, Rock, Augustus. A lot of Marvel titles there. The Haunting of the Mary Celeste. And the covers are always the best thing about these films. You know, you've probably been tempted like I have to pick up one of these things, and then you get home and it's 3 people inside a small room with one ropey CGI shot. So a decent sort of selection, I suppose. 13 minutes, that's sort of Superstorm type film, Tornado or something. Planet Dune. I wonder what that's ripping off. So yeah, it is nice to see that there's stuff here. I don't know how much longer they're going to keep going in Asda because Sainsbury's have gone. This one I love. I mean, look at the back of this. Megalodon Rising. When history's greatest aquatic predator returns. An armada of modern warships is sent to destroy it. They've got no chance. I mean, yeah, you don't need to watch the film really. It tells you what it's all about. But yeah, as I was saying, I don't know how much longer the shops are going to have physical media. They've gone from... Tesco's now, I believe, as well as Sainsbury's. But yeah, this is quite interesting. 2 for £10 on some more recent Blu-rays. It's nice to see things like Joker, Godzilla vs. Kong, nobody in that promotion. So, but yeah, physical media is on the way out, unfortunately. This is interesting, though. They're doing nice promotion as well. 2 for £10 on some of these more recent titles as well in that promotion that I mentioned. So, let's support Asda while we can, and if you can pick up things at a good price there, why not do it? Hello, welcome back. Okay, I'm back in the cinema room, and as you can see, not a great deal of new stuff in Asda, but it is nice to see that they're still stocking stuff, because I mentioned Sainsbury's have now abandoned physical media, and apparently Tesco's has too. I did hear that Tesco's was dropping it in March. Haven't been into a Tesco's recently to check on that. But I believe it's the case that Tesco's have got rid of all the physical stuff, which is just a shame. It's the beginning of the end of an era in terms of shops selling stuff. I think I did a video a while ago about this whole trend towards physical media disappearing. Certainly in the high street, in the supermarkets. And it's a shame, because it was always nice to wander into, particularly Sainsbury's, because they always had a really massive collection of stuff. Classic stuff, recent stuff, new stuff. But I suppose the economics of it is that if that stuff isn't selling in the shops, they're going to use that space to sell stuff that does. So you can understand it, but it's disappointing. Anyway, enough of that. I got a quick film review for you. I thought I'd better do a new video because it's been a week since Batman. I did mention that things would be a bit quiet, what with one thing and another, as they say. But I wanted to do one just to remind you that I'm here. And if you like this video, you stumbled across it, give it a thumbs up. You can like, you can subscribe. That would be very cool. That would be super cool, as the young people say. So yeah, I'm doing a quick review of a film which I watched yesterday. It's Monday now. I watched it yesterday afternoon. It's not the sort of film I'd normally review, to be honest. I don't want to tread on the toes of the Geeky Hijinks Reviews channel. Hello, if you're still out there, who does reviews of all the horror films that stream on the Shudder channel. But I want to mention this one because it's actually not bad. I don't watch many of the Shudder horror films because I know they tend to be sort of low budget, and they all seem to be a similar sort of theme, sort of hauntings and oogly booglies. But this one sounded a little bit more interesting. So I had a little look at this. It's called The Seed, by the way. It's called The Seed. But I didn't mention that. I thought I'd leave it 2.5 minutes before mentioning what this part of the video is about. It's called The Seed, and it's streaming on Shudder. I think it started streaming on the 10th last week.
What's up, guys? We're staying in this really cool house in the middle of nowhere. Wow. We're here to party and watch the biggest shooting star event since the dinosaurs checked out.
We really need to get laid, guys. You ever seen a meteor shower before?
I cannot get a goddamn signal.
Wow. What is it? Oh my god, it's got a little face.
What is that piss-leaking dog rat doing in the house?
I couldn't just leave it. I was crying.
I'm not letting you kill an innocent animal. Killing it is the kind thing.
With what?
I don't know.
Hey, little guy. Thirsty?
I feel amazing.
We need to leave. That thing. It's not safe.
It's something really special.
It's an alien. It's dangerous.
Deirdre!
What?
What the fuck is that?
Be amazing.
It's an interesting film. It's directed by Sam Walker. Apparently it's his first feature film production, first full-length feature production, and it stars 3 young women. I don't know them. I'm not familiar with these particular things they've been in the past. It stars Lucy Martin, who apparently is one of the stars of Vikings, Sophie Vavasseur, exotically named, she plays Heather, and Chelsea Edge, who appeared in the series I Hate Susie, which was the drama starring Billy Piper that was on Sky last year. I don't know any of these people, so they're all new faces to me. This is a bit of a schlocky sort of horror science fiction film, which I enjoyed far more than it deserves, if I'm honest. It's one of those films that we've seen 100 times before, but it was quite well done. I felt that for a first-time director, I think he sort of nailed the tone of the story and what he wanted to achieve on presumably a very low budget, because it's a very small cast, very restricted locations, but it's an interesting story. Basically, it's about these three girls. Deirdre, she's a sort of a social media, she's on her phone all the time, aren't we all, streaming and doing live streams. She sees herself as a bit of a model, but she's sort of tweeting and Instagramming and whatever the young people do, hello Rosie, to her friends. She's a bit irritating at first. You think, oh, she's really going to get on my nerves. Then we have Heather. Get out the way, Rosie. Heather, as I mentioned, played by Sophie Vavasseur. She's the sort of slightly naive, more grounded one of the three. She's not on social media. She doesn't dress in a glamorous way. She's sort of big chunky shorts and boots and things. She's much more an ordinary sort of timid sort of girl, I suppose you could call her. Then we have her friend, Charlotte, who's played by Chelsea Edge. She's sort of halfway house. She's a bit of a wild child, but she's sympathetic towards Heather because she understands that Heather's not as worldly wise as Deirdre. So these three girls at the beginning of the film, they're travelling to Charlotte's father's exotic sort of luxury house, which he's got in the middle of nowhere in the Mojave Desert. They've gone there for the weekend to have a good time together, to do a bit of modelling and photo shoots for Deirdre, who's got this aspirations to be a model, and also, pertinently, to witness the once-in-a-lifetime arrival of a meteor shower that's going to pass nearby. Out in the desert, they'll get an unencumbered view of this phenomenon. The girls are there. They're having a good time. They stop and see the meteor shower. Ooh, gasp. They've obviously never read Day of the Triffids. Suddenly, something crashes and splashes into the swimming pool. The girls have a bit of a panic, especially Charlotte, who doesn't want her father's house to be messed up. So they drag this thing, which they think is a meteor or a space rock or something. They drag it out of the pool, but it's actually got a face. It stinks. They describe it in very colourful fashion, which I won't repeat here. But it stinks, and it's some sort of weird thing. They leave it out in the garden. It appears to be not exactly growing, but it's clearly alive. And it's sort of, the creature itself is some sort of puppet, rubberized animatronic. It's not very sophisticated, but it does what it needs to do in the plot. It is an extraterrestrial thing, and the girls try to get rid of it, but all their attempts are thwarted because the thing exerts a strange power over them, which is what the core of the plot is all about. It's how a couple of the girls succumb to the strange influence of this creature, which leads to a couple of slightly psychedelic, sort of trippy sequences, sort of nightmare dream sequences. And ultimately, Heather sort of realises what's going on, and she tries to destroy the creature, but it tries to stop her destroying it. It's very schlocky, but it's actually quite entertaining. It's 95 minutes, so it doesn't have stage welcome, but it's quite well acted. I think the girls give a good account of themselves. I think it's well directed. The incidental music is quite striking. It's got this sort of jagged sort of electronic score, which I think is quite effective. But I think for a low-budget film with an largely unknown cast, I think it's quite accomplished, and I did enjoy it. I think that there's a sense that it doesn't know when to stop, because you think it's going to end and then, oh, this is happening now. And I think there are probably issues in relation to the girls. We don't really know anything about them other than the fact that they're three friends. I don't quite know why they're friends, because they're really quite different from one another. We don't know anything about their background apart from the fact that they do work, because one of them says at one point, I've got to get back to work tomorrow. So you're just presented with these three strangers in isolation. And in a way, it's hard to care too much about them because we don't know about them. apart from the fact that they are friends. And maybe that works to its advantage because there's no backstory clogging things up. I think we're told enough that they're childhood school friends who've gone in different directions in their lives and they've come together to witness this meteor shower. But overall, I quite enjoyed this for a bit of sort of rubbish. It's not the sort of film I'd normally do a review of here because I tend to stick to the sort of blockbustery, well-known films. But I think it's quite nice to cast a light on these oddities now and again, especially Shudder do a lot of original movies. I know they get a lot of coverage. I don't watch a lot of them, but this one just appealed to me for some reason. And I really enjoyed it. Towards the end, it gets quite disturbing, actually, some of the things that happen towards the end. And there is actually a really nice twist ending, which borrows from things like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I'll say no more about that. But it's quite a nice visual at the end, because it's not a big visual film. It's not massive visual effects, because obviously it's very low budget. Creature's little rubber puppety thing. But the story takes it along with it. It's nothing we've not seen before. We've seen these sort of things before. But for a low budget, first time film, yeah, good on you, Sam Walker. You've done good, man. And because I enjoyed it so much, I'm going to give it a big chunky 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. So that's The Seed, which is on Shudder streaming right now. It's really worth a look if you want a bit of, I keep saying the word schlocky horror, but I think it is schlock, but I think it's meant to be, and I think that's what the intention was. Worth a look. Right, thank you very much for watching this video. As I said, there will be more stuff coming up this week. I'm waiting on a few bits and pieces in the post. So before the weekend, hopefully, there will be a new physical media update with some new bits and pieces that I've collected on my way. A video which I'm hoping is going to go up Wednesday or Thursday. I've mentioned before about a book which I have coming out, and although it's not top secret exactly, it's not sort of it's not out there, it's not available yet, but I think it would be available quite soon. I have recorded a promotional video for it, which is going to go live on Wednesday or Thursday, and I will do a video including that video and just giving you some details about the book if you're interested in checking it out at some point. It is, frankly, a bit of shameless self-promotion, which I'm going to do. I'm not very good at that sort of thing, but I've written this thing and I'd quite like people to read it to see what they think of it. More details on that later in the week. Retro movie reviews coming. I'm planning to do The Shawshank Redemption because I picked that up on 4K, as I think I showed you fairly recently. I think I mentioned I'd only seen it once. It's definitely due a rewatch, so I'm going to sit and catch that at some point. And all other bits and pieces. So, just kickstarting the channel from each week of slumber. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all coping with this very strange world we're in at the moment. So I will leave it there, and until I see you next time, the best recommendation I can give you is to keep taking the stuff. See you soon.